But that's the best thing about fear and pressure, right? When you're under pressure to do something and the fear's on you, that's when you do your best stuff, because that will drive you every day. But you just got to harness it, and that will drive you forward. It can cripple you, but it is such a great gift. I mean, honestly, like it killed me every day. Like the fear of, shit, I might have to go live with my mum. I got a wife and 2 kids. They ain't the most exciting thing to say, hey, mum, I might have to come back to England. And by the way, I'm the biggest, I've wanted to come to America since, before I could remember. Arnold Schwarzenegger, you go to America, So I had that. And so the idea of losing America, go to England with my mom, I was like, whoa. So, I mean, the thing is, I signed up about 5,000 celebrities. And I never cared about going up to anybody, because like, to me, it was like, either I shoot my shot or I'm living with my mum. And that was fear and pressure. But now you might be like, I don't need a guy. I'll leave him be. I'll leave him alone, that guy. You know, it's different. But
it sucks when that little part is taken away, is taken away from you. But I think you've mentioned to me that you used to do like 100 text messages a day, like before like 1 p.m. or something like that, because you were just firing off messages and calling people and to try to get them on Cameo, right?
Yeah, but that number's a lot higher. Basically, what I learned about sales, that's what's, basic sales. It's all it is volume. That's all it is volume, volume, volume. So I used to get up before 8 a.m. I would send out 200 messages. I was sending out about 5,000 messages a week. That's email, text, DM, whatever. And so, but what I try to tell people, I said, like, think about it, I sent about 1 million messages in 4 or 5 years. But I signed up 5,000 people. So what does that say to you? You failed a lot. People don't respond a lot. A lot of people aren't interested. But you got to keep going forward. And, I think it's so important to keep talking about the failure part, because even now to this day, I see people that work in sales, even at Cameo, and I'm like, how many messages you sent out today? 30. I'm like, that ain't going to get it done. It's just not going to get it done. And I think there's so many people that think they're doing a job which they're not. And the only way, like, that's the thing that blows my mind. But then I realize it all goes back to the individual's want and desire to be great or successful or whatever it might be. Great's a tough word, because great will fuck you up. I think great. I
don't know if you watched the show Yellowstone, but this woman on the show was talking to John Dutton that owns the ranch, and she was pleading her case on not getting kicked out. And she said, I always showed up early. I always did my job. And he kind of sat there and he looked at her and he's like, okay, you always did your job? And he's like, is that true? And he like looked at the other people and like, yeah, she always did her job. And he's like, you thought that was like working really hard? And she's like, yeah. He's like, that's the problem. That's why you're gone.
Yeah.
Pretty much, like, he's just like, okay, you only did your job. Like, but didn't you hire you to only do your job? I want you to do your job and then some.
Yeah. I understand, but a lot of people don't have that, unfortunately. But I also think a lot of people just don't have the hindsight of they don't understand the journey of how to get there. And then also the other thing is people lack the confidence to do it. I think that's the other thing, is they lack the confidence to do it. They don't have what's your want every day? Like, you want to be a powerlifting champion. It's a great thing. Every day you wake up, it's easy. You're going to lift some weight. You're going to keep stacking away, eating more food. A lot of people don't even have that, and then they don't have the self-confidence to do it. And you got to remember, Cameo, I went after the talent. I didn't know these people. I was, okay, I had a little bit of a head start, I would say, than the average person, because I'd done some movies, but reality, I didn't have a Rolodex. And so, like, you're capable of great things, but you have to have that, repeating myself here, that clear one.
Early on, because I know you had mentioned that you're sending out like 200 texts before like 8 o'clock, and we can tell that you're just a hustler. You're running all over the place. But what were some of the tactics that you might have used? I mean, you probably didn't even have tactics, right? You just did what the hell you were doing. But to get in front of some of these people, like, I mean, like I could send, everybody can send DMs to everybody these days. But the problem is everybody can send DMs to everybody these days. So how are you getting people's attention back then, and I guess even now?
So again, it was like, when I was doing it, I was like, how do I stand? I wasn't verified. And we've had this from a lot of the salespeople, like, oh, well, you're the co-founder of Cameo. I said, it doesn't mean shit. I was a co-founder of a company that no one knew. Wicked. Wow. And I wasn't verified, right? So I realized that, and I think this is probably the best advice, because I get hit up all the time on my thing of people trying to sell me stuff. Yeah. And the funny thing, a lot of these people on these accounts, they don't have a good social profile. So you look at this message request, you click it and you go, the heck is this I'm looking at? It's like, you don't know who you're talking to. It looks bogus. So I think it was important to have a good social profile. Like the pictures you're posting, you've got to have a good, where someone going, oh, you can see who you're hanging out with, what business you're doing. It kind of is like a highlight reel than more necessary who you are as an individual. So that when somebody looks at your page, they go, okay, cool. Then I looked at things, okay, how do I make my name stand out? Then I put it in block capital letters. I was like, okay, great. That stands out when, pops a bit more. So I was trying to find ways, how do I pop more in the DMs? Then I'd be like, my picture now is a picture of me and my kids. But back in the day, it was a picture of my face and then a color.
Yeah.
So it popped. It was blue. Color of being verified. So I did all these little things. And that was it. And then, what I would do if I sent out, well, I was doing this quite often. I sent out a load of messages. I would put a story up or something about Cameo or something that, I don't know, something that I would feel like would give you some type of more like, oh, this is actually a real person messaging me. But then what I would do, I was look at my, who looked at the story. Oh, this person looked at it. And then I'd be like, so there was a lot of things I was doing there. I always used to say, people follow me on Instagram. Hey, do you mind? I'm better on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. Now I actually am better on Instagram than I am anything else. And the reason why I did that is so when I messaged some celebrity, it would be, followed by have a mutual friend. So then that popped up. So there was like all these little things that you do. They don't seem like a big deal, but it has somewhat of an impact.
Yeah. Power Project family, if you watch and listen to this podcast, my assumption is that you're probably the kind of guy or girl who doesn't just like to wear your gym clothes in the gym. But listen up, you can't be wearing those and one shorts at a wedding. Okay, buddy? You can't do that. That's why we've partnered with Viore Clothing, because not only are their clothes suitable for the gym so you can have the most comfortable and amazing workouts, but you can also wear them to the store, to the wedding, to dinner, anywhere, and you're just going to be looking so good. Andrew, how can the people get it?
Yes, step your game up right now. Head over to viori.com/powerproject. That's VUORI.com/powerproject. And when you do, you'll receive 20% off your first order. Links to them down in the description, as well as the podcast show notes. Let's get back to the podcast.
But and then the other thing was, because I was I always followed up. I didn't just send one. I followed and followed and followed up. So I think there was a thing like, well, this guy really wants me. This guy really wants me on Cameo. Keeps hitting me up about it. So then there was like an intrigue. Okay. And I had no issues chucking my number down there, because if they want to call me private, that's fine. And there's somebody, so that was it. I had a really cool message recently talking about the DMs, right? This really made my day. So someone asked me at my company, said, Mark, can you please message, let me pull it up. Oh, this is it, Matt. This is cool. So I said, can you please message Max Major for me? I said, sure, no problem. So I messaged him. And he texted me this back. He says, hey, brother, I'll check it out. This made me so excited. Because like that hustle, like you want people to appreciate. He says, totally fucking random. But a few years ago, I sat behind you on a plane and you spent the whole flight messaging huge celebs trying to onboard them and then, I'm sorry, I can't speak. Celebrities to onboard them and would celebrate the positive response of the dude in the row next to you. I love the hustle. Like this guy saw me just on a plane. Like if I was on a plane, I was just messaging the whole time, finding emails. But the thing is, if you're on the plane, I could ramble about this. Like, the thing about social media, you could then find who they're friends with, hit up those friends. They have an email, hit up that. There's IMDb Pro, hit up the agent, manager, publicist, lawyer. And you could quickly like blitz it.